Hello, we're in the kitchen. I'm gonna do some meal prep today because I have a really busy week ahead and I like to have easy and ready to go meals. I'm gonna be meal prepping some fried tofu, sauteed spinach, tofu scramble, and then baked veggies. So some smoothie packs because I can't find frozen fruit here, so I just freeze them in stasher bags so that they're ready to go. And cut up fruit, which is super simple, but it makes the biggest difference when you have fresh fruit ready to go. First, I'm gonna preheat the oven. I don't know what these symbols mean, but my flatmates told me to just turn it to 3. So 3. And then to this one, I don't know Celsius, but I always just, where's the knob? I always just put it to like 200 and that seems fine. And then when this light turns off, it means it's done preheating. And then whenever I'm prepping veggies or cutting anything that I know will have compost, I always put a big bowl on the side so I can put all of the scraps in here and put it into my compost pile after. So whenever I'm cooking, I always like to have something going on. So I have the oven preheating and now I'm gonna saute spinach while I cut these vegetables. For the spinach, I just filled up my pan and I'm just gonna cook this until it's cooked. And then I'll probably just add some salt and pepper. On the side, I'll also have my tofu kind of pressing. I don't really press my tofu. I just leave it sitting without a weight and I'll just let the water drain as much as it can, like just like this. And I'm just gonna start cutting my veggies. So I have my onion, zucchini, broccoli, and bell pepper. So I'm gonna use half of this onion for the baked veggies and then the other half for the tofu scramble. And then if you notice that I'm holding the knife weird, it's because the knives that we have are just pretty weak. So I feel like I need to grip it like extra to make sure it doesn't slip and to make sure it actually cuts. And the spinach is starting to soften. I'm just gonna mix this around a little bit. I'm just adding the sliced onion onto the baking tray. I'm gonna go into the bell pepper now. It will always get me how much spinach cooks down. This pan was literally full and now that's what's left. It's crazy. So I'm definitely gonna add more to this because I have a really big bag of spinach and this is enough for one meal. Now while that's cooking, I'm just gonna get back to cutting more of the bell pepper. So for the bell pepper, I just cut them in thin slices and then I cut it in half so that the pieces are about this big. And then I'm just gonna put half of this onto the baking tray for the baked veggies. Then I'm gonna go ahead and just cut the zucchini into slices. And for the zucchini, I'll just slice them and then stack them up and cut them into halves again. This is going on the baking tray. And now this is pretty full, so I'm just gonna even everything out. And I just add a drizzle of olive oil. I only have simple seasonings, so I'm just gonna do salt and pepper. Also have a little bit of garlic salt, so some of that. Make sure it's all mixed. I'm so excited. And then also move some of that spinach around. Time to put this in the oven. I don't really use a timer or anything for that. I just leave it in for about probably 20 to 25 minutes or until it smells good or until it looks cooked. This is how much we're left with for the second batch. Now I'm just gonna cube up my tofu and do some fried tofu in the pan before making the tofu scramble because the turmeric will make everything yellow and messy. So I'm gonna let this heat up and then I'll just add the basic seasonings, salt and pepper, and then also some shoyu. And now while that's cooking, I'm just gonna cut up my broccoli and sweet potato, half of this onion. So the onion is for the tofu scramble, the broccoli and sweet potato separately because I think these two always need a little bit more time. Now that the tofu is starting to heat up, I'm just gonna add the salt and pepper, some shoyu. Then I'll just cook this until it's all nice and brown. I'm actually gonna use this tofu container and put the prepped veggies in here for now because they're all just going to be thrown together anyways. And just to keep it all a little bit organized. I just find that these containers are really helpful during cooking or meal prepping. The tofu is cooking, the veggies are baking, looking good, should be about another 10 minutes in there. The sauteed spinach is done. Bell peppers are prepped for the tofu scramble, and now I'm just cutting the broccoli and the sweet potato for the next bake tray. I wanted to share that you can actually eat the broccoli stem, and it's really delicious. It tastes just like broccoli. So I've been doing that for a while now. I just cut off the leafy parts and then I'll compost those. But I just dice these into little pieces, and they're really good in like chilies or stir fries. But I'm just gonna dice them up and then put it with the rest of the broccoli in the bake tray. Tofu's doing great, and I think the roasted veggies are all ready. Browning and curling up. And it smells really good, so I'm gonna pull these out now. Definitely ready. That looks so yummy. I'm just gonna leave that up here to cool. Here to cool for a bit, and then transfer it to a container because that's all done. Yay, that's all done. Our kitchen kit, they actually gave us a peeler, so this is my first time using it. So glad this peeler actually worked good and pretty smooth too. So now that this is all peeled, I'm just gonna dice it up and add it to the bake tray. I'm gonna throw in this onion half, and then I'll do the bell peppers and spinach, and then the tofu and the turmeric and spices. While the onions are sauteing for a bit, I'm just gonna cut up this sweet potato. Kind of hard to cut with this knife. The tray is full, so I'm just gonna add some olive oil, salt and pepper, and then mix it around a little bit. So I'm gonna leave it in there and check on it in about 30 to 35 minutes. And back to this tofu scramble. Onions are still browning. I do have extra sweet potato and broccoli, which I'll probably make another tray bake with, but I'm just gonna put them into this Ziploc. Now it's all cut and prepped, so all I have to do when I wanna make more broccoli and sweet potato is just put it onto the tray, put some olive oil and seasoning, and then throw it into the oven. So just added a bunch of spinach for the tofu scramble. So I'm gonna let this all cook down before I add the tofu. Now that everything is pretty much soft and cooked down, it's time to add the main ingredient, the tofu. I love tofu scramble because it's so easy to make and it's really fun to make. All you do is just crumble the tofu in there. So this is what it all looks like. I'm gonna mix it in a little bit. Time to add the turmeric. Turmeric gives it that nice yellow color, and it also has so many benefits. It's really nice texture and color that really imitates scrambled eggs, but I do prefer this over eggs for many reasons. Oh, it's so beautiful. So this should be good for about like a week's worth of meals. So now I'm just gonna clean up and then make some meal prep smoothie bags. And then as for my little compost, I try to just scrape as much as I can into here. And then to make sure that my strawberries don't go bad, because I feel like these always just will go bad and you don't even notice them, I'll just cut off the stems and then transfer them to my stainless steel airtight container. They're already prepped, so I can easily add these to my smoothie bags or snack on them as they are. And then I also just cut up an orange for snacking. I'll add this to the pile of prepped food, and then I'm just gonna eat these right now. And I just checked on the sweet potatoes and they're definitely very ready. I actually probably should have taken them out a little bit sooner, but that's okay. Still looks good. Ah, I'm so excited. So the tofu scramble is pretty cool now. It's still a little bit steamy, but that's okay. I'm gonna transfer it to the container. And let's see if all of this fits into here. Wow. That fits so beautifully and perfectly. So satisfying when you transfer things to another container and they just fit so perfectly. I'm so excited. Alright, so this is all the meal prepped goodness. We have roasted bell peppers, onions, and zucchini. We have roasted tofu, sauteed spinach, oranges, a big bowl of tofu scramble, strawberries, 2 smoothie packs right here, and also roasted sweet potatoes and broccoli. It looks so beautiful and colorful. I also have this bag of broccoli and sweet potato all prepped and cut for the next bake tray. And last thing, I have my compost pile here: banana peels, strawberry stems, orange slices, sweet potato peel, onion, bell pepper. So I save all of that in here, and then I'm just gonna walk over to my freezer. My compost pile is in here in a reused plastic bag. So I'm just gonna add this to the bag. That would have been much easier if I did it with 2 hands. So I save all of my scraps in here, and then when this bag is full, which it pretty much almost is full, I'm gonna go take it to the compost pile on campus. Okay, meal prep is done. I'm so excited for this week of meals. I know that most people like to meal prep and actually put the meals into a container, but I prefer them separate. For me, this method is more intentional, and I can portion out based on how hungry I feel, and I can also add certain things or not add certain things based on what I want to eat. So although it's like all meal prep, it still gives you like some sense of options throughout the week so that you can change it up a little bit. I also love meal prepping because the dishes are so minimal. Like, I just washed the cutting board and the knife, and then now I just have to wash this tray, the baking tray, and the pan, and the spatula, the vegetable peeler, and that's it. It took me about an hour, but it's definitely worth it to get it all done at one time so that I don't have to worry about it throughout the rest of the week. I hope you enjoyed and maybe feel inspired to do some of your own meal prepping in your own style with your own preference of veggies. These are just my favorites and my staples, and I find them really easy to prepare. So yeah, thank you for watching, thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the next video.